Good afternoon, gentlemen. Well, it seems like it's always raining when I'm getting on here trying to record something, but anyway, what you see in front of you, other than the beach umbrella that I keep because the Supco is a little small when it's raining, but the infamous Carrier Infinity package unit, 48 DT. What a piece of crap. I hate these things. Last time I saw one of these units was about 4 years ago, and I hoped and prayed that was the last time I would see one. And sure enough, I'll be saying the same thing when I leave here today, and hope this time it comes true. But anyway, it's not heating, and we'll give it a shot. Let's see where it goes. Okay, so here we are with this Carrier Infinity 48 DT dual fuel heat pump gas package unit. Saw one of these last time probably about 4 years ago and hoped that I never saw another one again, and well, that day has come. You can't find manuals for these things. You try to find them online, and reading them, the information in them, trying to find troubleshooting guidelines on these things. If you're not a dealer and you're not putting these things in all the time, it's hard to remember. The last two of these I saw was just a bad outdoor temperature sensor, and if the outdoor temperature sensor is bad in this thing, for some reason it won't run. Thermostat wire, I had some thermostat wire issues on one maybe about 8 or 9 years ago. The thermostat wire coming through the crawl space was all buried and not chewed through, but it was worn and it was shorting and causing communication problems. So I ran some new thermostat wire. That one fired up, but trying to get tech support on the phone for one of these things. Carrier just, I don't know, here in North Carolina, Carrier is just a pain in the ass to get anybody at tech support on the phone. Couple of hours most of the time trying to find the manuals. They're never on site. Pulling up online, like I said, they're not laid out in a very clear way. Pulled up the one for this unit, and it didn't even have the error code list in it. Just gave you some, if it's not doing this, check this. If it's not doing this, that kind of crap like you get with your remote control for your television. But anyway, we're going to see if we can rule some things out, and I kind of suspect this board being the problem. This motor was replaced by someone recently, and it's doing the same thing. Now, when I first got here, it was giving me a 34 fault code, which was telling me we had an ignition proving fault. Well, it's never getting that far, number one, and I've checked the flame sensor. It's clean, goes all the way back. Terminals are nice and tight, non-corroded. I've got a good continuity through the wire. So I was thinking, okay, something's fishy with this thing. So I'll cut it off to kind of go through and check terminals, check plugs. First thing I usually do, make sure nothing's loose. I turned it back on. Now it's giving me a number 32, which is a pressure switch fault. Now the thing never tried to come on. So typically in that situation, you're going to think, closed, pressure switch on start. So what I've done is, this unit's got a low, it's a LP gas. If you notice, we're on LP here, kind of out in the country a little bit. Not natural gas. It's got a low gas pressure shut off on it. So if that tank goes empty and this thing starts to drop pressure, this thing will open and shut this thing down. But we're going to go through and check everything on it real quick. First thing I want to do is check this switch, make sure and confirm that our low pressure gas switch is in fact still closed, which it is. Now this circuit goes through the pressure switch, so I'm going to come back here, then I'm going to come up to the pressure switch on this terminal in here and see if I can get in there through it. But so right now I'm going through the pressure switch all the way back through to this, because it goes in through this, back through the pressure switch, and our 24 volts kind of comes in through that circuit is what it's doing. So if that opens or this opens, it's going to shut the thing down. So basically what I'm going to do is, this is my 24 volts that comes in. We'll go ahead and confirm that. Set this for our volts, find the common, and right there you can see on the meter we have 28 volts. So I know my 28 volts is coming from my board to go through that circuit. First thing I want to do now is check the pressure switch and then go to the other end of that circuit. So I don't have anything here, no continuity through that. So that lets me know my pressure switch is not stuck closed. I mean, I can try to pull this other wire off, but it's in there really tight and it's behind this box. So I'm typically just going to go through the switch back to the next connection coming off the switch, which is going to be this orange wire coming here to this sensor. So if that pressure switch was closed, I would get continuity right there, and I'm not getting it. So I've confirmed my pressure switch is not stuck closed. I do have 24 volts. Everything there's tight. I'm not getting a fault for a limit switch, but I want to check one. This one has a complete circuit that goes through your rollout, your primary limit, and your secondary limit, and then back to the control board. If you look at the wiring diagram, which sometimes these are not easy to read, if you look right here, it shows that circuit going in through the rollout switch, limit switch 1, limit switch 2, and back on terminal 6 and 8 on your plug, which are your violet wires. So I'm going to now go back up here and check continuity on that circuit, which is going to be terminal 6 right here to terminal 8. So as you can see, I don't have any limits open. The pressure switch is not stuck closed. My low pressure shut off on this thing for the inlet gas pressure is closed, which means that's also working like it's supposed to. So I'm getting this pressure switch fault and this motor is never even trying to start. So I'm suspecting that my problem is going to be with this board, because I noticed this thing is, the back plate on it is broken. So I don't know how that happened, unless somebody got up here and bumped it or did something when they were in here doing this motor. I'm not sure. But you know, we're getting a call from the thermostat for the furnace. All my comm LEDs are solid, which means they're working. Communications is good. I don't have a communications fault on this thing. None of my limits on this unit are open. Everything that's supposed to be open is open. Everything that's supposed to be closed is closed. This motor, I have actually taken it already and jumped it out. I also did check, I had my leads in there earlier, that when this thing came on, I heard a bump on this board as if it was trying to turn something on, but I never got voltage to this motor. So with all that said, I'm gonna speculate that this is going to be a control board problem on this. And unfortunately, this control board, like a lot of control boards, especially when you have one for one of these type units, did you hear it click? It just tried to start again, but nothing happened. It's like it bumps and bumps back open. Kind of like a thermostat when it's got a low voltage short. Some of them, they'll, as soon as it'll call, it'll click and then go back into a reset and go back into that delay. That's kind of like what's going on with this thing. And as you can see now, my LED right there, now it's going to start flashing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's giving me a 43. So what is fault 43? fault 43 is, let's see, there's a 45. Let's count that one more time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm looking at this little light right here, and I've got the headlamp on this thing, or the head strap on, so trying to kind of know what you're seeing and what I'm looking at. But so I'm getting a 43 now. So we got 43 because this flashes fast. Then it gives you your slow flashes for your second number. Then you have a pause. Fast flash. So it's showing a 43. And I got to tell you, gentlemen, there's no 43 on this thing. There's a 45 that says replace the control. Well, maybe the control's bad and it can't finish counting to number 5. I sure wish they had one of these sitting over here. Because if they did, I wouldn't be here right now. So I'm going to call this a bad control board. Like I said, I've jumped out this motor. It's come on, it's run, pressure switch closed when I did it. For some reason, when it's hooked into this system, it doesn't want to start, and that is a new motor. It was about 2 weeks ago when this motor was put in. So I'm going to call this a bad board. Like I said, it's not available. You can't get this thing right now. It's on back order, national back order, and they can't give us any clue when we're going to get it. And by the time you price this thing in with the shipping, we're looking at probably $1,300 repair here, because these boards aren't cheap. So guys, like, subscribe. I'm up to 100 subscribers. I think I've only been on this thing for 9 days since I started posting, and I'm not looking for monetization. If it gets there, fine. I'm not looking for 20, 30,000. It would be nice to have that many subscribers, but I'm just gonna let this thing go naturally. Post what I post. If you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. If you learn something from it, you do. I learn from other videos that I watch, and I'm not the smartest technician out there, most experienced, but I think we all learn the same way over time, and that's trial and error. Nobody knows everything. You go out and you learn something, and you know, maybe I'll learn something from this, but the only thing I know from this is this unit's a piece of junk, and I damn sure wouldn't have one, and I sure wouldn't sell one to somebody. So anyway, you guys enjoy your afternoon, your evening, your night, whenever you're watching this thing. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Any suggestions or ideas, shoot them at me. You know, I'm just taking this a week at a time. Whatever I can put up there, I'll put up there. And, you know, it is what it is. And like I always say, guys, you gotta love it.